So good morning and welcome to Wellspring.
Good morning.
My name is Edward Burlbaugh and I'm here to serve you today as a platform assistant. So we're going to start out with some announcements. And the first one we always have is about early birds. It meets Sunday morning at 9:30. We're going through a wonderful book, which is a compendium of a number of authors, 3 or 4 pages each. And I will say that the love and the joy and the energy of early birds is a wonderful thing. And as somebody mentioned today, and it will apply as well to this service, that this is, you're attending here today is Spirit going forth in front of you this week. So just know that no matter what is said, what's going on inside of you is preparing for this week. So today our speaker is Reverend Sandi. Yes. All the way from TRC. Torque, yeah. And next Sunday I'll be speaking, and then we have Donna Stryker, and the last Sunday of the month is Reverend Randy Granger. Now this week is Lunch Bunch meets at 11:30 on Wednesday at the Village Inn on Valley. And we always have Lunch Bunch the same day that we have the Board of Trustees meeting at 6:30 via Zoom. So that again is Wednesday. And all community members are invited. And if you need to know the coordinates for it, just give me a call or any of the board members. And we can get you hooked up. Our Thursday evening group continues. We meet here at 7 o'clock in the social hall and on Zoom. And I will say that Zoom has been wonderful because 2 of our folks, Jim and Dean, are in Colorado for the summer, but they can participate in all the things that they normally participate in, which Thursday night is one of those, as well as early birds, as well as today's service. So thank you, Zoom. If you want to join our Thursday evening group, it kind of varies from week to week. So it's not like you're going to jump in the middle of something. So talk to either me or Cleona, and we'll get you the coordinates for that as well. We have new directories, and the printouts are over in the social hall. We always appreciate if we made an error that you let Judy know about those corrections that need to be made, but I think it should be good this week. And moving on to August, our community outing is going to be on Saturday, the 23rd. And we're going to go to Brannigan Cultural Center, which is in the downtown mall, and that's at 3 p.m. And what's featured this month in that is the Stallman Pecan Farms exhibit. And as those who have been here forever know that Stallman Farms has been here longer, well, close to longer. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that, finding out a little bit more about Stallman Farms and just where they've been, how they've gotten here. And by the way, in case you didn't know it, Stallman Farms also has a huge farm, pecan farm in Australia. And that way they can have near year-round pecans. And so Mesilla Valley is in competition with, I believe it's Georgia, to provide pecans to the rest of the world, or at least to the United States. And then after that, those who choose to can go walk down the street to Chachi's on Main Street and for dinner. So it seems like our outings always end up with breaking bread with one another. So, and lastly, our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. You may submit a prayer request via our webpage or give it to me, and we have forms in the back here. Fill it out and hand it to me at the end of service, and I'll be sure that on Tuesday afternoons when we pray with you, that your request is included in that. So that's Tuesday afternoons at 4:15, and you're welcome to sit in your quiet space at home or what have you, and know that we are praying with you. And you don't even have to be in the meeting, knowing that Spirit is reaching out to everyone on our prayer list, because we are one in spirit, and the energy of prayer knows no physical or even time limits. So now it's time for our invocation. So right here, right now in this very room, there is quite enough love for all. As we feel the vibration of this bowl, we also feel the energy of that love, that joy, and the sharing, and we acknowledge the presence. So we know that this service today is divinely guided and blessed. Every one of you here today is blessed, guided, loved, and a piece and a part of this service. So we give thanks for this opportunity to be together, to participate in this service. And so it is. So now we have our community song, Song of Joy. And Edwin will lead us in this. And I know that there are some sheets in the back there in case you don't know the words. Oh, they're up here. I'm sorry. Yeah. In the back is the actual notes. So.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and what grows in the winter time. I gotta explain something here. And it's very illustrative of group singing in church. Why do churches always have hymns where they're singing together? And to put a little fine point on it, the loudness of your singing is important. The more you project that sound, the more joy that you get. And I was in a group one time that was based on a 1800s group that they had a certain way of singing. They set their congregation up in a square. So you had sopranos, altos, tenors, basses, 4-part harmony, and the instruction was sing at full level, but short of shouting. So when these people in the congregation were facing each other and singing in 4-part harmony, I mean, you were just plain elevated. So this is the Song of Joy. That's what it is. So let's just do. Are we ready to do the second verse? Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Yeah, I wish if we had 20 people. But.
Thank you, Edwin. And now, if you would join me for our vision, our mission, and our affirmation. And our vision: to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission: to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. And our affirmation: I embrace the abundance of life, knowing that Spirit's infinite supply flows through me. I trust in the perfect timing of all things and open myself to receive divine blessings. With gratitude, I share my gifts and contribute to the harmony of the world. Thank you all. And now it's time for our special music, which Edwin is going to be doing today. And I think somewhere around here are some sheets of music, if you wouldn't mind passing them out. This song we may not know as well as some of the other songs.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you need a copy?
The musician should have one for sure.
Well, this is one of my favorite hymns, and it turns out it was the favorite hymn of Martin Luther King Jr. And it was the hymn he requested on the I think it was the day before he was shot. And you probably have heard that sermon he gave, where he had a premonition, strong premonition, that was going to be his last sermon. So I thought it would be fun to do this hymn just in memory of MLK, and it's a great hymn. So, and you want to stand or not? We can sit. Precious Lord, take my hand. Let me stand. I am tired. I am weak. I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my light is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call. Hold my hand lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. When the darkness appears and the night draws near and the day is past and gone, at the river I stand. Guide my feet, hold my hand. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. Appreciate your jumping in here at the last minute. Our speaker called in this morning and said, our singer, guest musician said, I'm feeling like I have the flu and I don't want to expose anybody else. I said, thank you. We'll figure it out. So today for the reading, I want to read from the Science of Mind magazine, and this is from August 10th. And so we have the quotes at the beginning, you know. It says, you are worthy of love and belonging. You are worthy of joy. You are worthy of happiness. The road to self-discovery often calls for a clearing away of the underbrush of ignorance, fear, superstition, and a sense of isolation that made us feel we are unworthy, unheld, and lost. I'm sorry, the first one was from Brene Brown, and this one was from Ernest Holmes. And so now the author of the month says, we have to know and confront our stories of self-worth if they are negative in any way. When we have a sense of worthlessness at our core, the law acts on this self-awareness. We get and experience exactly what we think we deserve. The law of mind responds by corresponding. When we find ourselves experiencing things and conditions that are not born out of abundance, joy, or love, we likely are experiencing some patterns of unworthiness operating within our consciousness. This means we must be willing to challenge those patterns and let them go. Have you noticed that I keep saying that? For some of us, even taking these 31 days to repeat these instructions over and over and doing them for 31 days straight will just be a start in finding and addressing those patterns. We have habitually made agreements with unworthiness for so long that we feel like they are comfortable patterns. They are like a well-worn, soft shirt that may be torn up and may smell a little rank. Yet it is familiar, and we sometimes prefer what is familiar over what might genuinely serve us. Giving up this familiar way of being can feel confronting and challenging. At some point, we can see that arguing for our unworthiness just keeps us stuck in living small and unhappy lives. We must argue for our worth. We must shift our awareness to a perspective that embraces the deep truth that we are worthy of all good simply because we exist. And the affirmation for the day is, I recognize and embrace my inherent worthiness. Let's all say that together. I recognize and embrace my inherent worthiness. Wow. All right, so now we have our wonderful speaker, Sandi. She will be, I don't know what you're going to talk about exactly, but I know it'll be interesting. So let us welcome Sandi.
So I'm glad you made it, sweetheart. We met at the Cat Cafe in March, and she spent a couple of nights with me and then with another friend, and it's been delightful. She's 21, I'm 80, but our souls match. The age is not it. It's the resonation. It's like a reunion. So good morning. I don't know about you, but I do believe that Mercury in retrograde is real. I had a morning of just, one thing after another. Like, Aurobindo, one of his Holmes teachers, used to say, we overcome and overcome till we become. So it's a lot of overcoming today, but I'm here, thank God. So, and it's great to be here. I think I told Edward this is an overview or a review of the Four Noble Truths in the Eightfold Path. And it started, before we start, I wanted to do something here for us to anchor into what's true instead of what's not true. So, would you pass out the little goodies? August means August. It means wisdom, right? So for this month, you each get an owl for wisdom. It's the second owl I've given out, but it's different. I like wisdom because the last two letters are Om. And if I say Om, I'm home. Home in Om. And what we'll review and notice with these noble truths and Eightfold Path is it all begins in thought. And it's all about how we interpret. It isn't what happens. It's how we interpret it and how we respond to it and why we choose to have the highest experience of whatever's going on possible. So this is one of my favorite books. Is Stillness Speaks by Eckhart Tolle. It's my teddy bear. It goes everywhere with me. Much suffering, much unhappiness arises when you take each thought that comes into your head for truth. Situations don't make you unhappy. They may cause you physical pain, but they don't make you unhappy. Your thoughts make you unhappy. Your interpretations, the stories you tell yourself, make you unhappy. So, for instance, there are 3 lines as an example of interpretation. What a miserable day. He didn't have the decency to return my call. I think we've all done that. She let me down. Little stories we tell ourselves and others, often in the form of complaint. They are unconsciously designed, I regret these glasses. They are unconsciously designed to enhance our always deficient sense of self through being right and making something or someone wrong. So instead of what a miserable day, it is raining, period. For he didn't have the decency to return my call. He did not call. For she let me down. I was there, she was not. Can you relate? Yeah, so that's why I love Buddhism. I was criticized and reprimanded for talking about Buddhism at the Center for Mastery and Life Center by the board because I mentioned Hinduism. So the next Sunday I brought Ernest Holmes' papers, volume 2, where he talks about Hinduism. And he spelled it Hindooism, Hinduism. So Ernest Holmes, like me, was a spiritual enthusiastic. He included everything. He had trees that hadn't bloomed for years bloom. He calmed a wild donkey down. He was a people magnet and an animal magnet. He was just this loving, loving presence that found a way to think that can lift us out of reaction and emotions. Science of Mind is absolutely brilliant. And this thing called you is the pearl. It's the embodiment of the whole message that Ernest Holmes so beautifully wrote. So most of you know the story of Siddhartha, the Buddha, yes? How many people know it? No? Okay, so Siddhartha was born to a king in a castle with a big wall around it. And a prophet told the father that his son would either be a great leader or a great spiritual master. And he didn't want him to be a spiritual master, so he didn't allow him out of the castle walls. So he snuck out the dung door with his assistant, and he saw suffering, dying, and death, and he was shocked. And the assistant said, well, it happens to everyone. So he dedicated his life to have an answer to the suffering, to the dying. And after a while, he decided to sit under a Bodhi tree for 40 days. And he wasn't going to get up until he was enlightened. And finally, he was enlightened. He had done asceticism. He had starved himself. He had sat on thorns. He'd done all that physical, rigorous stuff. And it didn't take him to enlightenment. What took him was being still by the tree. And there's a Bodhi tree in LA at the Vedanta Temple that is so beautiful. So that was his path. And the handouts, One is a copy from this book, Buddha Readings, that I bought at the Bodhi Tree. Does anyone remember the Bodhi Tree in LA? It was a metaphysical bookstore. Anyway, the handout is the page on the Deer Park Discourse. You don't need to read it now, but you'll get all the handouts. This was his first discourse after his enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. So, in that, the last paragraph, he presented the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. So let's turn to the handout. You can read the other one at your own leisure. Let's go to the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path page. There's so many different interpretations of the Four Noble Truths. I like suffering. Some people use craving. This one uses sorrow. But can we all agree that life does contain some suffering? We don't need to deny that, do we? However, we do need to deal with it, and I think this is a map for that. So the first noble truth is he knows sorrow as it really is, and I say there is suffering. He knows the arising of sorrow, and I say he knows the cause of sorrow. The cause is craving. You know, wanting something to be different, wanting someone to be different, not accepting it, contracting around it where God can't get in with a crowbar, just like that. Okay. He knows the ending of sorrow. There is a way out of suffering. You know, you have pain, but suffering can be lightened a great deal. I've been experiencing that in the last week. He knows the course leading to the end of sorrow, which is the Eightfold Path. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So these are the Hindu words for the Eightfold Path, but let's go to this handout, okay? This is the eight-spoked wheel of enlightenment. And in the Deer Park Discourse, it says, with this discourse, he started the Dharma wheel rolling, and nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop spirit. So they are right view, aspiration, speech, action, livelihood, endeavor, meditation, concentration. So let's personalize this, because just hearing about it is maybe interesting or not, or too much of a review for you. However, reviewing it for me is always really helpful. I've been doing it for years. So what to you would be a right view? Yeah. For me, it's having a spiritual filter that the only thing that gets through the filter is spirit. And I see my glasses as a filter, you know, that I see through the physical to the spiritual. So just take a moment for yourself. What's your right view? What's your main take on life? An aspiration? What is that like? Hope? Aspiring to something? Spire, spirit? Aspire? Go to spirit? Aspiration? For me, it's stay centered in spirit. And speech? That's really an important one, isn't it? That's when we have to make amends, when we blow it. But apologies work, especially forgiving ourselves works. And that leads to atonement, which is at one-ment, takes you home to Om. And action, when we used to march on Washington and volunteer for the AIDS quilt display in Washington, D.C., we would wear T-shirts with running hearts, and it said love in action, because Ernest Holmes says service is love in action. And if you remember, the green Tara is stepping off her lotus pad, and she's compassion in action, take action. For me, service is love in action. And livelihood, I stopped volunteering at a group as hospice chaplain. It was just too crazy making for this old broad. Too many changes, and it just wasn't clicking. You know what I mean? And it was hard to give it up, but it was necessary for me because I can't afford stress. You know, I have this emotional budget. Stress, I can't afford stress. It's too high ticket an item. So I delete stress as much as I can. How about you? What is action for you? Did we do speech? So speech to me is to be kind and uplifting. I call myself an inner flame fanner. I just want to fan the flame of people. Then it takes them wherever it takes them. It's none of my business. So livelihood. It's so much easier to do work or housekeeping or anything if I let Spirit move through me and be the experience. Like that beautiful book by St. Andrew's, that's Joel Goldsmith. Anyway, St. Andrew's book, I wash the floors for God. I wash the dishes for God. I finally make my bed for God. Okay? Endeavor. What are we doing? What are we up to? What are we taking action in our lives? What catches our attention? What thoughts lead us to a higher endeavor? Just to be in conscious contact with Spirit. Consistent conscious union with Spirit is my endeavor. And meditation is simply Om to me. There's no definition. I believe everyone meditates whether they know it or not. If you have a pet or a plant or something that you did not create, if you commune with that, that's connecting with Spirit, from which all things come and all things return. And concentration, to me, that's focus. When I first was learning to meditate, I read Ram Dass's, oh God, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's one of his best books. No, it's about, I can't remember. Anyway, it's a book about meditation. And he said, start with a candle. And in the Kabbalah, it teaches that the flame of the candle is spirit, mind, and body. So, mind, body, mind, spirit. Neshima is at the top. So it's to stay in that union, no matter what. I just instantly say, God is greater than this. Spirit guides me through this. Spirit is the oil with my wheel that just keeps me rolling and keeps me knowing. So, this is amazing to me. This is from this book, The Four Noble Truths by the Dalai Lama. He's very intellectual. I prefer heart and mind. He's very much in the mind. He's brilliant and he's funny as hell. I saw him in Australia, in Melbourne, and he was hilarious. And I have a friend that's a Tibetan Lama, and he giggles all the time. If you've seen lamas, they're smiling. You know, that secret smile of, I know the truth of everything, and the truth is Spirit. Okay, so it says, in denying the physical, it's important to ensure that our negation does not defy the reality of the conventional world, the world of lived experience. So that means we don't have to say life is an illusion. We don't have to say there is no death, there is no illness. For me, I just need to know that Spirit is the cause of everything. And then thought translates it, however it translates. Understanding form and emptiness enables an individual to tread the middle way. So really, these two things, the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, are just that, to tread the middle way, to not be caught up in the highs and the lows, but to stay centered. And then enjoy life, of course, but we don't have to go wacko over it, or we don't have to sink with it. We can stay in the middle. There's a minister in our group that says, by the way, Reverend Kamatara is here today, and it's such an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. It's her day off, and here she is. And hello to all the Zoomers. I was thinking maybe Jim and Dean would be back today, but not yet, huh? Anyway, we miss you. We're glad you're here with us. So he would say, I don't need the details of your problem. I really don't. I just say you're in the dukkha. And dukkha means unhappiness in Sanskrit. And sukha means happiness. So this is an article on how to stop overthinking. Can you relate?
I'll think about it.
Exactly. Good one. Okay. Step 1 is separate the event from the story. What's the raw fact here? And what's just my interpretation? It's usually my interpretation. And if it's a low interpretation, it's based in pain of the past. If it's a high interpretation, I'm home with Om. Okay? Step 2 is decide, then detach. So you say, oh, this is an interpretation, this isn't the truth. It's a fact, but it's not the truth. So decide, then detach. And step 3 is anchor in the present and to take action. Running cold water over my hands for 10 seconds. My mentor and Ernest Holmes practitioner was Datura Papke, and she would always say, go wash your hands, or get up and walk around the house or around the block, or open the door and kick the problem out. Because if you do something physically, I think I'm training my mind to not stay there. It's okay to have an upset. It's natural, but it's not okay to stay there. It's to give it, what is the highest interpretation of this I can possibly come up with? Notice 5 things I can see, touch, smell, speak, the 5 senses. So notice the things for each sense. And that's like, you know, the healing touch that you just touch people in certain places and it gets them centered. So if you think of things you can experience, it'll get you back away from that terrorizing thought. So it said in that article, then you get more energy, you sleep better, relationships improves. Because the mind runs at 200 kilometers an hour. What would that be in miles? Anybody? 160. Your mind right now is going 160 kilometers. Isn't that amazing? And we can rise up from that track, that hamster wheel. We can rise above it. And when we're above it, we're free. And we can decide what's the best response to this. Spirit is greater. Spirit can guide me. 1 year ago today, a year ago yesterday, Reverend Jennifer Kleitz took me. We were at Nueva Casita, and I was panicked because I had to move. And so she drove me up here to see this house, which is wonderful. And the next day, she bought me the Nissan Rogue. I call her Rhonda the Rogue. So 1 year ago was very special to me because it was the day I decided to move here. And I couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more joyful. Tori and I were out by the lake with my dog. There's nothing like it. If I can see my dog running on sand or dirt, it just thrills me. And we went for the walk up in the BLM too. So now, dukkha is craving, attachment, and clinging. There is suffering that comes from our internal reactions. Mental attitude is more important than external conditions. And from the Dalai Lama, the most important thing to know is that afflictive emotion is our ultimate enemy. So let's think about afflictive emotions. I think we all know what that is. It's a reaction. It's not accepting things just the way they are and just the way they are not. It's contracting instead of expanding and opening to what is. Acceptance doesn't mean it's okay. It means I'm not contracting around this. I'm staying open to a higher experience of this. That makes sense? So since it's a small group today, we have time for discussion or questions or input, and I would love to hear from you. Who wants to start? Kamatara?
Will you say the dukkha thing again? You said craving, attachment, and what?
Clinging.
Clinging. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I can be a Klingon, that is for sure.
I thought detachment was a cold cutoff, but it's a loving space between what is and what is not. Detachment, that's why I love the Bhagavad Gita. I discovered it in 1978, and I've been reading it ever since. And it's all about loving detachment and service, and do things without attachment to the outcome. It's not what you want from this, it's the doingness, it's the being present and serving others that really is uplifting immediately. You know, when you call someone to check in or ask how they are, bam, that's the connection with spirit. So let's take view. Does anyone want to talk about that? Your view of life? Do you have an uplifting view of life? I have a friend that I had to distance from because he said, I don't want to be here. I want to be with my wife that died, and I don't like it here at all. And he's way into UFOs. And usually when people talk about UFOs and all that, it's fear-based for me. That I have to live in my body on planet Earth. And I'm a real Earth girl. So I stay pretty grounded, and I respect everybody. But when he got so negative, I had just gotten my diagnosis, and I had to distance from him. And now we're friends again, which is great. Yeah, but it said in the Buddha thing that the Buddha reading today, I was at a friend's house, Tori and I were the other day, and she brought her neighbor over that rebinds books. Isn't that cool? So in December, she's going to rebind some of these. If such a person's company is conducive to the cultivation of mindfulness and of breaking the bondage, the monk should live in that person's company during his whole life. Once again, he should reflect whether that man's company is conducive to the cultivation of mindfulness and to snapping of bondage. So people talk about boundaries. I don't like the word at all. I don't like walls. I don't use it. I respect people that do, and I think it's a great tool for living better. But what I do is I establish a frequency and spirit that I want to maintain throughout the day. And then it's the law of attraction. If I stay in spirit during the day, I have fabulous experiences. Isn't that true? When you're centered, you just meet one person after another, like going to coffee at this person's home with Tori, and then Tori stayed with her a few days, and the book binding, and just she or she is just handing me from hand to hand, just guiding me since I've been here. It's magical. And it can happen anywhere, but I finally have a sense of home and belonging here, which is against all odds, given how I was raised and how I used to think. By the way, does anyone know who William Hornaday was? He was the co-founder of the Science of Mind Church of Religious Science. He was Ernest Holmes' partner, and he is the one that insisted on having a church. I wish we'd stuck with Ernie with his desire to have an institute of study, because that's what it is to me. So there was a banquet for him in LA, and a big banquet in honor of him. And Esther Williams was at my table. Have you heard of Esther Williams? The swimming star from the 40s? You know, this, like that. Anyway, she sat there, and delightful woman, just delightful. It was quite a day. So that was September 23rd, 1990. I love little things like that, little goodies. Okay, so let's do some meditating, and then hopefully you'll have something to share. Where's my dorje? Okay, well, this has the dorje. This is a dorje. I like Tibetan Buddhism because it's active and fun and joyful and noisy. And the dorje means lightning. And the Tibetan teaching is like a lightning teaching. And so you have the dorje usually in your left hand and the bell in your right hand. So let's close our eyes if you wish. Let's start out with 3 ohms. Om, Om, Om. What are you thinking about the message today? The purpose of sharing this, presenting this, is for your pleasure and hopefully a helpful tool in joyful daily living. What are your thoughts? And now if your eyes are closed, what helps me is I keep my lids closed and roll my eyes clockwise, and then a blue dot always appears, and sometimes an eye or a face. But that's one way to get above thinking. And bringing your awareness back to the room as you will. Did you come up with anything? What?
When you were talking about dukkha versus sukha, and I was thinking I just had all my experiences with dukkha, and okay, dukkha be gone, thank you, adios. And so I'm new to living in sukha, and so the phrase that came to me is, I'm nesting in sukha.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
going to sit with that all week, thank you.
Yeah, it's a simple choice, isn't it? It really is. If I establish a strong vibration, dukkha folks don't come in. And years ago, Terry Cole Whitaker told us in the 70s that the metaphysical go to hell is your good is elsewhere and you go to it quickly. She was a riot. She was brilliant and she was fun and electric. Yeah. So it's great to have, who had a really wonderful teacher in their lives? Yeah, it's so wonderful to have a guide. Jericho Whittaker was my first one, and then Ventura Papke, and lots of others. Elizabeth Breese Whiting. She was given a retreat center in Missouri. And the rest of her life, she took people all over the world to sense where they were before. And when I'm in Scotland, I vibrate and shake and cry because I'm home there. It's just amazing. I scattered my mother's ashes, some of them, on the Isle of Iona, which is just this precious island with an old, old cloister from the monks that were first there. And Jean Houston helped me do a ceremony. And this big raven came and sat with us. It was just awesome. And there, when we were going towards the cloister, it was a green grass farm with willow trees and a big barn, and a woman was currying her horse in the sun. And then later we saw that she hooks the horse up to a buggy and gives people tours. It's just such a gentle, inspiring experience. Where do you feel home besides here? Yeah. Ditto. It's been wonderful having you here. Just wonderful.
So can you tell the people that are listening what's being said here?
Oh, Tori said she feels home when she's with me, and TRC, she's from El Paso.
And what did Reverend Conatar say? Because they can't hear.
I have no idea.
Oh, about the dukkha and sukha.
Oh, that she's nesting in sukha because dukkha is unhappiness and sukha is happiness. So that's what she said. I realize it's harder for the people on Zoom. So hopefully some of this rang true for you, and if it didn't, just leave it here in the room. Leave the flyers, just walk away from it because it wasn't for you. Hopefully my desire is to present things that make more joyful daily living. That's all. And it's not my interpretation, it's yours that matters. We all have our own, we all interpret life. Religion is an interpretation of life and death, I believe. Spirituality is knowing and sensing the greater truth, the big S. Okay? Yeah.
So I liked these eightfold things, and to remind me to, okay, so how am I going to raise my viewpoint of what is happening?
Wonderful. Shirley says that she likes the Eightfold Path, and she asks, what can she do to uplift? What?
To raise up my view of what's happening.
Raise up my view of what's happening. That's the whole deal. You notice that all of these start between the ears. So how brilliant is the study of science of mind? How brilliant is it? I mean, Esther Hicks is making a bundle copying Ernest Holmes, The Law of Attraction. A lot of people are making a bundle on his teachings. Do they acknowledge him? Nope. But we know he wrote that in the 30s. And those chapters on successful living, the law of attraction, they're just awesome. They just take me right back. Because in the law of attraction, Ernie says, he who can fall into the sea of receptivity receives all. So the sea of receptivity, isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Brilliant writing. Never gets old for me. Okay. So let's just close with you. Okay, it's not a book. Just breathe in that tone of spirit. Just saturate yourself in the tone of spirit. And choose a frequency on which you want to experience life today. maybe make an affirmation or just a word. Gandhi always chanted Ram, which is the joyful aspect of infinite energy. Whatever tool you have, let it work. And let's let Spirit live through us today in joy, contentment, and givingness. For this we give thanks. So it is. Swaha. Thank you, everybody. Oh, yeah. He said, I'm not getting fresh. I'm doing your, turning the mic on.
I'm up.
Yeah.
Well, this is a song that all of you know, and it's called When You're Smiling. So let's take smiling as a synonym for extending love. So, and don't forget, the volume of your singing is just short of shouting. Okay, shouting, no, that's a little too much, but not a lot too much. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain, so stop your sighing. Be happy again, so keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Again, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain, so stop your sighing. Be happy again, so keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Excuse me, I forgot to say that the Dalai Lama really focuses on smiling. It's that kind of secret smile he always has. And people say it lifts your whole face up in your spirit. So that was perfect. Thank you.
Good.
Well, it's easier to smile than it is to frown.
Yes.
Thank you, Edwin. Appreciate that. Thanks again, Reverend Sandi. All right, it's time for our offering. I think we'll just say that there's a basket in the back on your way out. If you choose to put an offering there, be wonderful. So we just know that as we receive these gifts, some off the website, some on PayPal, some in person, we give great thanks because we know that giving and receiving are part of the one flow. And as a community, we believe this, and we also tithe out to our community. And last week, we had a perfect example of some folks who we'd given to, the Mesilla Valley Search and Rescue. They came and talked about what a blessing the gifts were. So we just bless these gifts now and forever and give great thanks. And there are a number of folks who have contributed to the production this morning. We'll start up front here, Edwin. Hey. And in the back, we have Brenda. Reverend Sandi, thank you again. And Edward. Thank you. Takes a village, as they say. And thanks to all of you for being here. It brings up the energy, obviously. All right. And thank those of you who joined us from Zoom land. We appreciate your being here. And we know that you're just as much a part as those who are in the sanctuary here today. So if you want to stay around a little bit after in the Zoom meeting, we'll set it open so that you can say howdy or what have you. And then the rest of us are going to head over to the social hall and have some goodies. So now please stand as you're able to read with me the benediction, and then we'll follow that with our peace song. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us
And into the world.